was proven in court that there was no interference. Mike Pence, the response. Rabeli Stefanski, the famed Dafyomi Maggid Shir, who's in competition with me, that he doesn't know yet, gave the first Dafyomi speaking tour. He started Maseches Gittin. He'll be speaking in 5 different locales in the New York, New Jersey area to start Maseches Gittin. I read there were 1,500 people live at the first year in Borough Park on Thursday for Maseches Gittin. 1,500 people in a wedding hall. That's pretty impressive, and it filled up, sold out. I think it was free actually to come. People will find it funny that Heli Stefanski, it's almost like a celebrity, like a singer going on a tour, a celebrity tour. A rabbi, a Dafyomi Maggid Shir is a celebrity, but I believe it's true that if you're going to transform the Shir not just into something by giving over Torah, but also giving over your personality, Heli Stefanski has a little bit of personality, of course, not as much as me, so then you are a celebrity. Ron DeSantis said over the weekend that he believes there's only 3 credible candidates to actually win the presidency in 2024, him, Trump, and Biden. He says, really, it's only him and Biden, because he was speaking to someone in Iowa who said that really Trump and DeSantis have similar policies. However, Trump does not have the values that a true American would espouse, while DeSantis does have those values. I would say like this. There's one other factor over here. The negative about Ron DeSantis, people are complaining, is that he's a very boring person. He's tedious. You speak to him on a personal level. I've listened to him. He almost as boring as Joe Biden. So basically, you have similar policies, but Trump is entertaining, and DeSantis has American values. I think in this generation, entertainment wins over values. Jimmy Butler has the Miami Heat off to a 2-0 lead against Boston, winning 2 games in Boston. It looks pretty much assured they'll be in the NBA Finals. I saw a comment, someone called him Jimmy Jordan, because really he's been the difference. On a pretty, they have injuries on the Miami Heat team. They're not the best team they've had over the years, and Jimmy Butler throughout the past 3 years has basically taken over in the playoffs. I think calling him Jimmy Jordan is a little too much. He did miss a shot that would have sent him to the finals last year. I think 2 or 3 years ago, he was in the finals. They lost to the Lakers. He didn't pull out a championship. Michael Jordan was 6-0 in the finals. He's never lost in the finals. Jimmy Jordan is a little too much. When Jimmy Butler wins his first championship, you maybe can actually say Jimmy J. The Orton would have to be another 5 championships. There was a big win the other day for social media companies in 2 cases that went to the Supreme Court, where basically people were claiming that social media does not do what's necessary to stop content that supports hate of certain groups, and they're a breeding ground of hate against certain groups, and that they should be penalized for having content like that on their platforms. And the Supreme Court basically ruled, I think unanimously, that it's just like any other part of the internet where people could spew hate in various different formats. So they're not doing anything to aid and abet that. In fact, the truth is that actually most social media platforms do actively curb hate speech and things like that, which actually makes social media platforms, I guess, more safe and better discussions than the rest of the internet. I read a story that Adidas is still smarting over what happened about 40 years ago when they lost out on Michael Jordan. They didn't know at that time he was going to be what he was going to be. There was a movie that just came out, Air, which documented how Nike was able to sign Michael Jordan away from Adidas. They created the Air Jordan brand, which last year pulled in $5.2 billion in annual sales, just the Jordan brand of Nike. And they're determined, Adidas, not to let that happen again. They've signed Patrick Mahomes. They hope what Mahomes will be is what Jordan will be. Of course, no one will ever be like Jordan. Jordan, he transcends basketball. He's thought of as the greatest athlete of all time. Everyone, they said, even people who are not into sports or basketball want to buy Air Jordans. But I think what's also important over here is that the fact that Air Jordan is so popular, even though Michael Jordan retired almost 20 years ago, people are still into his shoes. James is playing now. No one cares about his shoes. That's why Jordan is better than James.